1.21 just released, and by just released, I mean it released like a week ago, but it's fine. I am up to date on everything. 1.21 just released, that's what I'm getting at. And with it come the trial chambers. So anyway, I thought, hey, what if I could just, like, beat the trial chambers in one run? And by in one run, I mean hardcore. And also, what if I made it harder by not being allowed to use any other tools that I found outside the trial chamber? Like, what if I just tried to beat the trial chamber only with the tools available inside the trial chamber? And guess what, gang? That's this video. So the rules of this challenge are that I have to be in hardcore. Sort of. Because if I was in hardcore, then it would take forever, because I would have to, like, find a trial chamber in each one, and then, like, drop all of my resources outside. So no, I'm starting in creative, and I'm finding the nearest trial chamber with commands, and I'm getting to the nearest trial chamber with commands, and then I'm putting myself back in survival, and I'm locking myself in hard, because you can lock difficulties. And then if I die, I'm just quitting the world. So it's basically hardcore. I'm making my own version of hardcore. So I have to be in hardcore. I'm not allowed to mine outside the trial chamber or mine the trial chamber for resources. Like, I can pick stuff up, and I can break things if I'm trying to get to something, but I can't, like, mine for blocks. And if I get one of the evil potions, like the raid captain potions that makes everything worse, the omen potions, if I get one of those, I have to drink it before I fight the next thing. There's no, like, saving them up. I have to drink it. I have to, because I like torturing myself. And also, I'm not allowed to use commands, because duh, you can't use commands if you were actually in hardcore. Also, this isn't the complete footage, because I'm not a monster, and it took me 36 minutes, which honestly isn't that long, but I'm not making a 36-minute long video, besides the fact that I took a break in the middle to empty the drain rack, because yes, I have chores, I am responsible. So anyway, there are going to be cuts in this. I'm just going to giving the broad, overarching story arcs. If you want to see the footage of how I did it, because, like, it's cool and I'm proud of it, or you're suspicious and think I cheated at some point, which I dare you, go find where I cheated, because I didn't. But if you're suspicious, I am going to be putting in the description a link to the video, which will have just all of the footage unedited, except for the bit where I go to do chores, because I'm going to mute that part. So anyway, that's going to be linked in the description as an unlisted video. Have fun, go watch me do stuff for like 36, 34, 37 minutes. Anyway, with all of the rules stated, and they're probably going to be in like a cool text thing. Come on, Corn. Come on, Editor Corn. Put a cool text thing. With all of the rules right there, let's begin. We got this. So we start where all worlds start, in the Create a World menu, because that's where all worlds start. And as you can see, I'm titling this Trial Chamber Hardcore Run smiley face, because duh. And you might think if I'm doing a hardcore run, I'm going to put it in hardcore, but no, we already discussed it. I have to put it in creative, because otherwise I can't find the trial chamber. So I'm using the /locate command, I'm teleporting to the location, I'm putting myself in spectator mode, I'm going down, and then I'm looking for the starter room. I'm basically, the things I consider starter rooms are the rooms on either end of this trial chamber. It generally has a tree in it, or it's got like a bunch of different levels and chests, but anyway, I see the tree room, so I just go for the tree room. When I'm in the tree room, a safe distance above the floor, because I've made that mistake before, I put myself in survival, and I change the game mode to hard, because that's as close as I'm going to get to hardcore, and it'll just be like a voluntary every time I die I have to quit a world thing. And then I begin. Like, for realsies this time, gathering all the resources in the room and everything, as in breaking the chests to get all the stuff, and then breaking the tree. And what I'm hoping for in the tree, because I know I can't get a sapling for this type of tree, is sticks, and I do end up getting some sticks, which is very nice. Open for sticks. Hey! Stick. Another stick, very good. This is the downside to the mangrove tree, which is that it gives you lots of wood, but you can't get a sapling from it. If it was an oak tree, you could try for a sapling and then maybe get more, like a renewable source of wood, but no. And if it was a cactus tree, it's terrible. And if it's a cactus, you're just screwed. Because sometimes it spawns and it's just a cactus on a little thing of sand with one dead bush, and you're like, why? Why? So here I'm taking the mud because it'll help me get sticks later, and that makes sense. Okay. And then the next thing I do is I sort of side-eye the main room, but it doesn't look like anything interesting's happening there, so I'm just going to go for the secret room, because that's the trick. In trial chambers, if you see, like, one of those copper grates on the floor, it means there's a secret room behind it. There's a secret room in almost every single kind of starter room I've found, which is one of the reasons I call them starter rooms, because why would there be a secret room if it wasn't, like, for you to find? I don't know if that made sense. But anyway, I have to break my way into the starter room, but there's always a chest in there, and the chest has goodies, which is good. That's why they're called goodies. Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Immediately make a shield. Very nice. Very nice. So you become the crafting table. And you become a shield. Thank you. Iron lets me make a shield, and that is very important because there is always a type of skeleton that spawns from a spawner in a chamber. Doesn't matter what type it is, there is always a type. Okay, so that's poison shooty, guys. My goal in this room is to just loot as much as I can without setting off the spawner, and then when I'm feeling pretty good, set off the spawner and just try to take care of it. And then I see this side room, and these side rooms are always a good sign so long as they're going down. If they're going down, it generally leads to treasure, which is great. If they're going up, it's a bit of a 50-50. So I go down, and I do get treasure. Ooh, okay. And mind you, I'm trying to 100% this thing. That means leave no stone unturned. So when I go back up, I block this door off with pots to let my future self know that I've been here. And then I go for these barrels, and that was the best decision of my life. Ooh. Oh, that's good. That's really good. So now I have a Smite 5 axe, which, like, what are the odds? And I'm going to be needing to fight undead mobs, so that's double good. But then I start looting some more things, and my luck runs out, and I make everything infinitely worse. Okay. And here's where it gets better. And by the rules of this challenge, I have to drink that before I fight anything. I can't just keep it in my inventory and keep it all easy mode. And that's also Bad Omen 2, if you hadn't noticed. But I've never been one for over-delaying the inevitable, so I go, and I drink it, and I fight the now supercharged bog spawner. We hope they are undead. And my Smite 5 axe is really coming in clutch here because it is just one-shotting them, and they're wearing armor. Dang, Smite 5 is good. Turns out they do count as undead. And then it's over, and for how fast I defeated it, I think it's kind of fair that I only earned 1 steak. So I loot the rest of the bottom, make sure I've gotten all the doors, and then head up the ladder to do the second layer. Okay. What the hell? Oh, it's slimes. The fight is confusing because first of all, I keep getting hit by random things like a fireball and potions and stuff that the trial chamber creates. And second of all, I accidentally go on to set off all of the spawners at once. And I can't tell which slimes are coming from where, and I can't actually tell when the slimes are the size where they can hurt me or the size where they can't. And it honestly feels like that no matter how many slimes I kill, there are always more coming from the spawner, and there are always a bunch of tiny ones around everywhere confusing things, and then there's all potion particles. It's just a rough time. Sometimes the things that the trial chamber creates go in my favor, like when slimes get set on fire, but a lot of the times they don't, and they just make everything worse, like when I get hit with an arrow or set on fire or any other number of things. And I almost die a couple of times because I don't have food, so I can't regenerate health, and I'm getting low on health. But what saves me is actually the fact that I've killed enough slimes that I've defeated one of the things, so it pops out a regen potion, which I then take immediately and go back into fighting. And the regen pot really boosted my confidence, which was a bad idea because then I immediately accidentally turn on the third slime spawner that I hadn't seen. But luckily, right around that time, I defeat the second spawner and it gives me food, so I am back in the game. The fighting went on for some more time, but I'm getting bored of this, so you're probably getting bored of this, and if you want to see the full thing, you can watch the full thing. So anyway, let me just skip to the final guy I fought. And for all that fighting, I received survival and a big fancy key, even though I hadn't even opened one of the smaller vaults yet. So I cleared out the last of the slimes because the sounds were annoying me, and then I went about finishing up this level as well, as in checking all the rooms, looting all the things, and making sure that this entire area was just spotless in terms of things to fight and things to loot. Alright. And then it was time to continue onward, which meant down. Although I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do it because I had never clutched with scaffolding before, and that was kind of all I had because I didn't want to waste hearts with an ender pearl, so I figured I might as well try it. Alright. Okay. My second attempt was much better. I clutched! Oh, I've never done that before. Well, no, I've clutched before, but, you know, it feels cool now. Okay, that did not work out. This new area didn't have any enemies, but what it did have was a lot of loot. And within that loot, I was able to get an enchanted iron chestplate from a chest, a punch bow, as well as a bunch of iron to finish out the rest of my set so I would have full iron armor going into the next battle. The next room had a bunch of poison shooty guys, but it would be hard for me to get to them, so I just decided to snipe them instead. I sniped at them for 2 straight minutes, and I'm going to speed that up now because I'm getting bored watching it, so you're getting bored watching it, and if you want to watch the full thing, you can. But I'm not making everyone sit through that, especially given how poorly I shoot, so we're just going to speed that up. But eventually we reached a point where I couldn't snipe them anymore, not because I had beaten the spawner, but because they were all on the ground. So instead of jumping to the ground and beating them all up with my axe, I decided I was going to aim for the second spawner I had seen in the back, which I could easily get to, and which I was also pretty sure was a poison shooty guy, which I could beat up with my axe easily there. For beating the spawner, I got some nice jacket potatoes, which was especially nice because I didn't have any food. And then I found the best thing ever. In the dispenser behind the spawner, there were lingering potions of instant health, which would then go on to save my life more times than I can count. I stole as many as I could carry in that moment and went back into battle. I was once again utilizing the sniping technique, which wasn't working out because for as many shots as I hit them, they hit me. I ended up having to use one of my lingering instant health potions, which I then of course went back to the dispenser and got a new one, but it was clear that this tactic was not working out, so I changed strategies. So I jumped down and started axing them to death. And I might have died there had I not done a tactical retreat to get some space away from the slimes because they're slow, so I would have time to heal. Then, after getting my reward of a very nice key from the trial spawner, stealing a water bucket from a dispenser, and then opening one of the smaller vaults, I decided it was about time I went and I killed the breezes. Killing the breezes would require getting down to their level, because they weren't going to come up to me. So I thought, how do I get down? Oh, water bucket clutch! And then I didn't. Because I missed my clutch, well, I ate my gapple because I didn't want to fight the breezes on low health. And then it was just a matter of stabbing them to death. And here I am hit with a weakness potion, do not realize that, and I'm confused why my hits are doing less damage. I also ended up poisoned for some reason. And for that, I got another fancy key, and I had defeated this room. The thing was, I didn't know what to do next. All the other rooms had a clear place to go, so I was forced to backtrack, confused as to what my next action was. And as I was backtracking, I realized, was it possible I had already defeated it? I had gone everywhere? So I checked, I backtracked, I looked all over the place, and I came to the conclusion that yes, I had defeated the entire trial chamber. Yeah, okay, I think I did it. Now, time to check my work. I did it! Hey! Alright, that is corn milk 100%ing the trial chamber, technically in hardcore mode, basically in one go on hard, with no outside supplies. Oh my gosh. Did it! And it only took me like upwards of 20 attempts, but that's fine. And you might be thinking, Horn, like, yeah, you did the trial chamber, but like, it was a small trial chamber, and I would say to you, hey man, look, any trial chamber is a trial chamber. I did not advertise that I was doing in hardcore the biggest trial chamber ever. This was a randomly loaded seed. All of the seeds I was doing with were randomly loaded. Was this perhaps just luck? Yes, but I am proud of it, and that is what matters to me right now. If for some reason you're like, Corn, you could never do it again, comment that below and I will try this again and I'll make sure that the trial chambers are super big before I play them, okay? I'll make sure they're super big for you. Um anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you're subscribed. You don't have to be. I'm not asking you to because that would be weird. And remember, if you want to watch the full thing because you think I'm cheating and you think you can catch me, you fool, I haven't cheated. That's why you can't catch me. But if you want to watch the full thing unedited, well, sort of edited, I muted sections because like a family member walked into the room. But if you want to watch the full thing, it is linked as an unlisted video in the description. Have fun, I guess. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in my corner of the internet sometime soon. See you next time, maybe.